Let's talk about ancient people. How come ancient people didn't know everything? Let's just get into that for a moment. Why is it that they didn't know every single thing? Back in the days, 30,000 BC, how come everybody didn't know about antibiotics, about aviation, about electronics, about, microprocessors and everything else? It would be kind of silly if we actually expected that to be the case, that they should have known about those things. If we demand that they should have known, it's like expecting a newborn baby to know the alphabet. Baby just born 2 hours ago and you expect that baby to know the alphabet and you get upset. One thing that's true in life is we know there are patterns. Learning is a process of step-by-step learning and advancing and moving forward. And I always think how people criticize people of the past for not knowing things that we know today. And for their understanding being different from our understanding today. And I think that's kind of silly, It's just like criticizing somebody for being poor because they're poor. And because they deal with life like a poor person. They may eat certain foods that's not like the food that rich people eat. And you criticize them because they're doing that. It's always interesting, the patterns. People can always do things in such a way. And the whole point is to make yourself feel better than everybody else. When you're at this level, you look at people at the level below you, and then you criticize them for not being where you are. But then there's also that other side of it, that there are people who are above you. And you dread being criticized by those people. I'm just thinking about all this stuff. Just the reality of it all. I think that when you get to a level of moving up in life, of becoming more educated about things, learning more, understanding more, when you become something like a philosopher like me, somebody who spends a lot of time thinking about things, looking at things, even though I'm not really a philosopher, at least not academically. But you look at things, I spend more time thinking about things and thinking about my thoughts and my feelings and my thoughts about my thoughts and everything else more than most people. Maybe in some way I might become more advanced than other people. But I don't look down my nose at other people. See, we're all growing and we're all learning. And in truth, everybody knows things I don't know. They're more advanced in so many other areas than I am. And I respect other people's knowledge and understanding of things. When I go to the doctor, I respect their understanding of things. All of my friends who understand many different things that I don't understand. So in a real sense, nobody's really in a real sense above anybody. You could be above somebody in one particular area. Let's say, for example, if you're a mechanic, you know how to fix cars. You might be better at fixing cars than anybody around you, but you might be a terrible cook. Someone else could be a much better cook than you. They could look down their nose at you as a cook, just like you could look down your nose at them as a mechanic. We can do that. We can play these little games of sort of elevating ourselves above other people. And that's all it is. It's just a game. It's just a game that we play. It's an ego-centered game. But you have to realize that nobody's really better than anybody else in any real sense. It's just an illusion. It's kind of an illusion that you can create in your mind of being better, of being superior. And that's what it is. See, I like to think that we're all equal in a very real way. That's reality. That nobody is really better than anybody else. Even if other people have more money, even if they have more education, even if they have more experience at particular things. And everybody's got, their experience is always in some particular thing. Because if you've been around long enough, you have experience being alive. And you have to realize that everybody around you is potentially a teacher. Everybody around you also is potentially a student. They could learn from you But you can also learn from them too. So it balances out in real life. In reality, it really does balance. It just balances out. You know, that nobody's really above anybody else. Anytime you think you're superior to another person, just remember that's an illusion. And anytime you think you're inferior to somebody, that also is an illusion. You're not above anybody and you're not below anybody. That's just reality. I mean, that's the way it really is. That's the truth.